Good afternoon, and thank you everybody for being here after a long day. I know it's not easy. And I'd like to thank my colleagues in the backstage. They're the people who are working hard to make sure that all of this works. And after several days of work, it's continuing to work and functioning. Today, I have young women next to me, and I'm very excited to share the stage with them, because today they will tell us about their experience on a personal and professional level and their interest in technologies in generally and cybersecurity in particular. On my left, I have Alicia Gomez. She's in the first year of her secondary studies, and she's interested in cryptography and mathematics, and you'll learn a bit more about this later on. She's involved in many projects, STEM Talent Girls, and she was a winner of the Cyber Women Challenges. And she has been in the Leon Mathematics Olympics this year. We also have Claudia Alvarez. She has a master in research from the University of Leon, and she's a researcher in cybersecurity, and she also works as a student on a PhD working on robotics in Leon at the university. And I'll begin with you, Alicia. You're studying your secondary education and you'd like to perhaps be an engineer. So based on that, until you get to university and you do computer engineering, what are you going to do? How are you going to prepare for that? First of all, I need to prepare myself appropriately in my secondary education. And in terms of education, I think we don't give enough importance to computing and cybersecurity. And so I'm doing extra courses, and I try to make them classroom-based, but this is not always possible. Sometimes you can do courses and workshops, but I don't have always enough time for that because of my other studies at secondary school. I do online courses, and I take books out from the library, and I try to attend talks and so on, as well as the fact that you've already decided so young what you want to study, which always actually surprises me rather a lot, and I'm impressed by that. I just want to say that I did have no idea at your age what I wanted to do later on in life. So it's nice to see how you already have an idea of what you want to study, because that's an advantage for you. And you're already getting ready for that, and you have an idea of what's ahead of you. And that will tell you whether or not you're in the right place. And the fact that you know that so young is a real advantage. So when did you start having this interest for computing? I've always loved computing and understanding how a computer works. When I was young, I thought that it was a piece of magic, that there was somebody inside there putting the numbers up on the screen. Obviously, as time went by, I understood that this wasn't possible. There must be some mathematicians in there making sure that they can do the sums. And so I decided that I wanted to study mathematics, but there came a point in a language class that I had to do a presentation, and I had to talk about a mathematician, and I thought, oh, I ended up doing the talk, and I went out of that language class, and I thought, this man, he used computing and he reached a lot of people. I could use maths in the world of computing, and I could also help a lot of people. So that's how I decided that I wanted to study computing. And you, Claudia, You're a computer scientist with a master in cybersecurity, and you work as a researcher in the University of León, and you're doing your PhD. Tell us a bit more about that project that you're working on in the University of León. I know that INCIBE involved with this, and I have the opportunity to learn from that, and I participate in that project from the side of INCIBE. As you were saying, we collaborate with INCIBE at the University of León, and I'm within Skylar. It is part of Castilla y León, and from there we manage the local network from there. Red Skylar is on Castilla y León level, and the idea of this project to detect threats within this network. The project has been running for 1 year, more or less, and we already have the basic ideas, and we're using them for research and applying our learning techniques, which is all supervised, which is what we're doing most with these days. I know a little bit about the project, and I've been working with the honeypods side, so that's why you're my honeypod go. And Alicia, back to you. We have an idea of what computer science is about. Sometimes we have an incorrect idea of it. When you actually go and study it and you graduate, you have perhaps a different idea, different concept of that, and you change your mind about what computer science was. But what attracts you to this speciality? To me, computing, nobody can say that it's not in their world. From the time you wake up to when you go to work, or when you're listening to music on your mobile, when you're communicating with the people you love, your family, this is all computing, and this is a very wide world. And thanks to a number of mathematic calculations, we've got what we've got today. So I just want to know what those calculations are like. I'm sure you'll achieve that. And you, Claudia, we have the before and the after side here. Tell us a bit more about why you decided to study this specialty. What took you to the field of computer science and beyond? There was no particular point in which I decided that I wanted to be a computer scientist. It was a bit more vocational. I always liked computers from when I was very young. We just had 2 computers in my school for all the students. And I always mention one thing, and I think it was around my 4th, 5th birthday. The Turbis were very popular. I don't know if you remember them. Perhaps the younger people won't remember them. So I was going to have a Turbi for my birthday, and just before that, I said, no, I don't want that. I want a computer. My parents said, oh, what's going on here? No, I said, no, I definitely want a computer. So they gave me a little interactive computer, and it was just a little bit about learning, for doing adding up and taking away. And right from a young age, I started using a computer keyboard, and that's how it started. And then in secondary school, a teacher organized a trip here to Valencia. So I've got a background with Valencia, and we went to the university in Castellón, and I was shown a few things like the now that many people know, and I thought, wow, this is incredible. How do these little robots can move like that? And then a little bit later on, I already knew I wanted to do computer science. Then I went to the University of León, and I visited a group there in the university, and I saw those robots once again. And once again, I thought, wow. So I started my degree in computer science, computer engineering, And I knew I wanted to end up working with robotics because I was in a robotics group in the university, but I didn't know that students could collaborate in this group at the time. And then I was lucky enough in the third year of my course and to receive an invitation to offer participation in a group for robotics. And I said yes, of course. And this has been my link with the robotics group. And I'm doing my PhD on this now. And then there's also cybersecurity. So throughout my degree in computer engineering, I went to things like CyberCamp or ENIS. Many of them were organized by INCIBE, and I was all interested in cybersecurity. I thought it was an interesting field, and it seemed that it would have a lot of future, and that everybody was talking about it. So I finished my degree, I did my master's course in cybersecurity, and I just finished it this year, and here I am today. Alicia, you're in the STEM Talent Girls, and I have been told a little something. I'm her mentor, actually, in the program. So tell me a bit about this program and the support that you're giving on a personal level and a professional level for the future. STEM Talent Girls is the need that companies have for future employees and the realization that there are few women in this field. So in the program, they attempt to inspire us and encourage us to go into the STEM degree area. We are given talks and by women who have been successful in this field. Those talks are available on YouTube, and you are told a little bit about the life of these women, these moments and these challenges that these women have had, and you come out and you think, oh, if this lady could do it, I can do it too. Also, we go to businesses, we do workshops. We did one on HTML last year to get into the world of web pages, and we can also continue with that training by ourselves. And it's also about having references in the field, right? And of course, you, Claudia, tell us a little bit about your professional references in the field. Somebody that might have influenced you to reach your goals or helped you to know where you want to go professionally. The person I look up to now, I don't know if he or she'll be listening to me. And this gentleman is an amazing guy. His name is Vicente, and he knows everything about the world of computing, and I've been working with him day to day. He's responsible for the project that I'm working on with INCIBE, and he's one of the 3 directors of my PhD. There are many, many spectacular people, but in particular, Vicente has inspired me. Hello, Vicente. I don't know if he's here in CyberCamp. It's very exciting to have both of you here today because I'm involved and working or have a relationship with both of you on a professional level. I shouldn't say I have a personal relationship because I'm your mentor, but we certainly have a professional one. You want to study computing and you're interested in cybersecurity, and we're going to have a look at something that you've already achieved in this field. So tell us a little bit about, we're talking about cybersecurity. What comes to your mind? What do you imagine?
Well, I picture like a police agency, because after all, someone who's an expert in cybersecurity works really closely, or just something very similar to what a policeman could do, because when we're walking down the street, we are not in fear of being attacked, but we can feel safe rather because we have policemen around us. And on the internet, we have cybersecurity experts who are looking after our security, so we shouldn't be afraid of getting hijacked or anything. So you've got a telephone number to call, helpline, in FIBA's helpline, for example. And I like that vision. And do you see yourself in a few years doing something related to cybersecurity in particular, or do you think that is something which is still too far away? Well, I think this is a bit too far away because I'm still doing my secondary studies, but I definitely want to study something related to computing and to cybersecurity because it's what really interests me, because right now I'm not studying something for my future because I want to do this or that, but basically rather I am curious, I want to learn and I want to learn more about computing and cybersecurity. So I do get an idea that I might end up doing something related to that, but it's still too far away. Yeah, the important thing is for that curiosity to never die. Now, Claudia, we can say you are working in cybersecurity. Have you found any handicaps, any obstacles during your career? Do you think you will find any in the future? Well, getting to where I am now hasn't been an easy job because I have had to give up many things in my life. I have had to give up going out with my friends, for example, because I had to stay at home and study, because at the end of the day, you have to work hard if you want to achieve something. So I haven't really found obstacles, really, but it has been really difficult to get to where I am right now. Also because I come from a very humble family. Most of my family have always worked in farming, and I have actually only got a grant 1 year, although I have very good grades, and that is because when choosing who gets the grants, people who work in farming don't have the most points, unfortunately. So the only way I could actually pay the tuition fees at university was by getting honours. I had a few, obviously not everything, but in that way I managed to make my parents pay less tuition fees. It's true that my parents never really put any pressure on me, saying, oh, you have to pass everything. They said, well, if you have to do something twice, then you will have to do it. We'll do whatever we can to be able to afford your tuition fees. But yeah, it's been hard to get to where I am right now. And about the future, well, I'm sure that there will be obstacles and issues. But a few years ago, I attended a talk. I can't even remember where or who gave that talk, but I did draw a conclusion. There are two people, those who find 3 problems to every solution and those who find 3 solutions to every problem. I think I am in the second group because no matter how many problems life has put in front of me, I have always tried to solve them, and I think that's what everyone should do. And on that line, I think it's very important that earlier on in life, but also during the process, the support that we get from our families, from our friends, in the decisions that we're going to make, in everything that we have decided, and really on the path that we are actually walking. And Claudia, in that sense, concerning support and motivation, I see that you have enough motivation yourself, but do you feel that your friends and family have supported you, that they keep encouraging you to fulfill your dream? No, yeah, of course. Both my partner, my parents, and my brother trust me even more than I trust myself. So I do get a lot of support from them, and also, of course, from my friends. I've always been the geek of my group, the one who likes computers. But I have always had a lot of support, and I would like to thank them and everyone who has supported me for that. I think I'm very lucky to have them always near me and always support my decisions. And Alicia, how about you? It's exactly the same for me. All my loved ones have trusted me much more always than I have trusted myself. And I think everything I have achieved is thanks to all their support. Because behind every challenge, every competition, sometimes I thought, well, I shouldn't go. Maybe I won't be able to do it. And they've always said, just go and try. Always encouraging me not to give up for every project. And I think everything I've achieved has been thanks to all these people. So now your to-do and your homework is to trust yourselves because everyone else trusts you. So this is your homework from here. Now, you might not know, but these two girls participated in Cyber Woman Challenge, the first one that took place in Spain, and they actually won. Alicia won, and she doesn't even work in cybersecurity yet, and she doesn't know, she says, whether she wants to work in cybersecurity. And Alicia, in that sense, could you tell us about the experience a little bit? Could you tell us what the competition was about, how you felt? Well, when I signed up, I was really excited, but when the day arrived, the competition was in the afternoon. In the morning, I went to class, and I was really, really stressed out, and I said, no, I'm not going. They said, no, you have to go. You've signed up. You've told everyone you're going. You should go. You don't do well, then you just go home. And in the end, I did go there. I felt really, really welcome. Everyone was very warm. They all welcomed us very well. And the competition, we used different tools from micro train, and we were told how it worked. We had different challenges. If, for example, a file has been deleted, someone in the company has deleted this file, can you find it? And all that sort of problems, really, that you could find in a real corporate environment. So I went there completely inexperienced. I had only read something from a book, and I came out with a really, really good experience, and of course with the tablet that I won. And I had a lot of fun. So everyone, if you find this opportunity, I encourage you to go. Just go. Go and give it a try, because you will gain experience even if you don't win a prize. So the worst that can happen is to learn, isn't it? And Claudia, how about you? What was it like for you? Well, because this was going to happen in León, I decided to go and give it a try. I wanted to live the experience. It was a very comforting experience. I met 3 wonderful girls, and we got on really, really well. We hit it off from the beginning. We started doing all the challenges. We were runners-up, and I'm really, really happy to have taken place. And soon you will be taking part in CityF in CyberCamp. How do you feel about that? Well, I think all these people are really, really good, and they have been preparing for a whole year, and they are almost devoted to this. And I hope that one day I will be able to do this as well, but I cannot do it because I've got a lot of work. I've got my PhD, so I don't have really that much time. But, well, I just want to go, have fun, and learn as much as I can. Yeah, that is the attitude. Alicia, just to finish, what do you do in your free time other than learning and everything? What else do you do? Well, obviously it's related to computing. I just give myself challenges. I challenge myself. I say, for example, oh, something's been done with Arduino, and I just say, well, I want to do this as well. This is what happened to me this summer. I bought an Arduino plate, I bought some components, and I started putting it together. I had never done that in class because we are not luckier enough to have that at school. So I just started watching YouTube videos. I took books from the library, and I finally did it. Now it is there. It's not that I play with the robot now, but my challenge was to manage to do it. And just to finish, and this is for both of you, could you just send a message to all those girls and boys, young people who are curious, at least curious, about computing and cybersecurity. Alicia, what would you say? Well, if you're curious about it, the best thing you can do is to learn. You might then learn and say, well, actually, I don't like this, but then you can do something else. But if it really interests you, then it is better to do something that you're curious about than something that is almost compulsory, something that you have to do because you have to do it. Because if you learned because you're curious, then you will get a lot of concepts and learn a lot without even realizing you're learning. So I would encourage you to look for different courses and sign up for everything, talks, like for example CyberCamp, and otherwise just check online courses and talks, watch talks on the internet. We have a very, very broad world on the internet, and you can use that if you're not lucky enough to do that in your city. Claudia, there seems to be no obstacles here to knowledge, isn't it? Before making a decision earlier on, you do have a lot of resources to actually get to know the things you're curious about and decide or decide not to, because at the end of the day, if you don't like technology, well, no harm done. You might like something else, and you already have the knowledge. And how about you, Claudia? What would you like to say? Well, I would like to encourage everyone, because the path might be hard, but every effort has its price. And if you like this world, just go ahead. And I have a quote on Twitter: if you want to be good about something, first of all, you have to be able to be bad on it. So you have to be ready to fail, because no one is born knowing things. You have to go to every event, you have to go to every congress. Just never stop asking questions. There are no silly questions. Always ask any questions you might have. In these events, people are always wonderful. They will always answer your questions. And of course, I would like to tell you not to fear failure, because we seem to think in this society that failure is bad. But no, we have to normalize failure, because what matters is that you try. If you fail, well, no harm done. You have to try again. You can always learn something from failure, and you have to learn to get something good from failure. Yeah, in the end, you always learn something, whether you are successful or not. Now, we're talking about the future talent here in this roundtable, but I think it's the talent that we already have. Thank you very much, everyone. I don't know if you have any questions, and otherwise, we'll give the floor to the next speakers. No? Okay, well, thank you very, very much for being here.